Alright, so here we are in Tillamook, Oregon. And that lady who's not so nice, well, I try to ignore her best I can by not going to the establishment when she's working. And of course, by making sure that my vehicle is parked in the areas designated for Starbucks customers when I am here as a Starbucks customer, that I am parked where it is designated for a Burger King customer when I am a Burger King customer, and that I am in the area that is designated for a Denny's customer when I'm a Denny's customer. There's 3 different companies here that use the same parking lot. Each one of them has, well, Starbucks doesn't have any against the building. Denny's does, and so does Burger King. But Starbucks has the general area here, and then they have 3 tiny parking spots, only big enough for a car like mine, next to the drive-thru. So that's where I'll park there tomorrow, I guess. The lady being offended for whatever reason she's offended, that's not my... Whatever the hell her issue is her issue. It should not pour out onto me. If she doesn't like homeless people, that's on her. If she assumes that I must be a druggie, or must be a child molester, or must be a rapist, or whatever the hell else her bias might tell her I'm supposed to be, well, that's in her own head. And that shouldn't be my problem. Now, thank goodness for Mr. Mike. I got a pretty good reputation with the people who work the night shift, and I don't really mess with the day shift. I mean, they're a lot busier during the day usually. My normal routine after Starbucks closes, I try to get out of there a little bit early so they can get the lobby cleaned up, and hopefully they can get out of there a little bit early. Because even though they close at 6, you know, they'd like to get out of there optimally at 10 minutes after 6. Now, there's some of the Starbucks, they have a drive-thru with different hours than the regular thing or whatever. I know that a lot of places the lobby is still closed because they don't have enough workers to run the place. But yeah, my usual routine is to wait until 7. Wait until after 7, I guess. Actually, I think that manager lady might literally be parked caddy corner from me, and looks like a Toyota. Huh. That's where that truck was just parked, taking up 3 parking spaces. She's only taken up 2. She's parked on the white line, so she's gonna be blocking somebody from getting out of their vehicle. And as close as the person on the other side is to the white line, you would basically have to be a Honda Civic to open your door, and you'd have to scrape paint with one of those 2 vehicles. But I guess people are selfish with the way they park these days. They're all starting to park like cops. You ever notice how cops will park in the worst places at the most awkward angle? Like the worst possible angle for traffic to get through. They want to get noticed. They want to make it an imposition for you so that you see that they're doing something. It's cute. No, it's not. And it's not necessary. When they're really trying to make a big show of stuff, that's the way they park. When you're a disabled homeless male, you're pretty well screwed. You're on the shit end of every stick. And with it coming down to me basically having this half of a parking lot, that's what I got to work with. I'll basically have to use up gas and be cold because I gotta bounce around from one potential area to another, being told I can't park there, and that's basically my life. With my tags being illegal now, and my plates, I got insurance, just my tags and plates aren't paid up. It's too expensive. Now, with that Nikkis lady having an issue, whatever her issue happens to be, nobody else here holds that bias. Nobody else here has an issue with me. Well, there's some of the daytime workers that have looked at me funny, but looking at me funny is completely different from, when I go in there at night. It's the same workers, it's the nighttime crew. But I'm going to ask, of course, when the nighttime manager's here, I'm going to ask him if it's all right for me to park. I guess I'll have to park literally right outside of the building, though. Like, I'm going to ask him if that's all right on the nights that they're open all night, if I have permission to park at the place that I am going to as a business. And I do spend a lot of money there. Other people have spent a lot of money there on my behalf too, apparently. Yesterday, apparently another family paid for my dinner. They also gave me $5. And then the guy drove up twice. And 2 different Ford Mustangs. One of them was blue and one of them was white with blue stripes. The blue one was really loud. But they were pleasant to me. They're the ones that gave me $5 and paid for my dinner. And, a couple other times people have paid for my dinner. They're always surprised at how cheap it is. Like, fuck, I don't have $14 to spend on a hamburger. Plus, being as restricted as I am, it's probably about 2 blocks worth of driving for me to get from here to McDonald's with expired out-of-state plates. 2 blocks don't seem like much, but if I drive to McDonald's every time I want to get something to eat, or I stay parked outside of McDonald's while their lobby's not open, I'm out here fucking freezing. And I don't mind staying at the McDonald's parking lot. I mean, they'll let me. And it's a lot cheaper to do it that way. I mean, it's only $1 a coffee. Of course, I do have to burn through gas to go through the drive-thru, don't I? Sometimes that's a long wait. And of course, it's cold. There's a lot of stuff I'm not able to do when it's that cold. That lady has been parked here, sitting in her vehicle for a while now. She's got gray hair and it's kind of straight like the manager lady that was here earlier. I don't know, I guess I didn't pay that great of attention to her. Not her physical being, anyway. I was trying to pay attention to what she was saying. And that's difficult when I'm busy sizing somebody up. I don't have any interest in sizing anybody up unless they're having the intent or showing the intent to get violent. And she wasn't showing any intent to get violent. She was pleasant, at least, about being shitty. My usual routine is to wait until after 7, of course. No reason to go driving around for an hour. That's a waste of fucking gas. And at that point, I'm going from being a business patron at one business to being a business patron at another. And of course, I just got myself a burger over at the Burger King. So all 3 of the businesses that are here using this parking lot I've frequented today. Well, I guess I haven't frequented them yet. I haven't gone in. They close at midnight during the week. Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, though, they're open 24 hours a day. And on those days, I'm a customer at Starbucks until Starbucks closes. Or damn near. And then I'm a customer at Denny's. If I need to get a few hours sleep, I need to get a few hours sleep. I gotta be a customer during those 4 days there is really what it gives me. 4 days and 3 nights. On those 4 days, I'll try to power pound the shit out of my sleeping during the day when I'm allowed to be in a parking lot and it's not overnight parking. If I don't get enough sleep, well, fuck it. It won't kill me. Before I left for Virginia, it had been over a year of hell, over a year of Boulder police not letting me sleep. I was averaging less than an hour of sleep a night most weeks. It was horrible. And I had my backpack, and it had my important life-saving gear in it, and it also had my computer and stuff like that until that shit got stolen. I was even able to find out who stole it. And there was a guy, the night that it was stolen, who said he knew who took it, he was going to get it back, and then that guy didn't show up for well over a week. I don't hold any animosity towards that Mickey lady. Animosity means wanting to do harm. No, I don't want to harm people. I want them to stop harming each other. And that includes me. I'm a person too. There's a lot of people that don't understand that there's a time limit on these things. When you're a homeless person in a new area, there's only a matter of time that you've got before you got to move elsewhere, or hopefully you make some friends. But it's difficult to make friends because, well, I don't fit in with the drinking crowd because I don't drink. I don't fit in with the meth crowd because I don't do meth. I don't fit in with the heroin crowd because I don't fuck with heroin. I don't fuck around with the pills, so I don't really fit in with the farmy poppers. I mean, really, for me, being homeless, as gimpy as I am, it's being out of place, entirely out of place. There's nothing I'm even allowed to do for myself. Here, we're gonna hobble you by pretending that you're retarded and telling other people you're retarded, slandering your name on the internet and on YouTube, and gaslighting you with our friends. It's not fun being treated that way, folks. Found my $1.99 jar of peanut butter and honey. Got myself this little pocket knife thing here. It's camp utensils. That's something might be worthwhile to show you. Let's see if I have a flashlight handy. I should. Now, as far as the area that I live in, a lot of people want to tell me to mind my own business. Well, you know what? Here's what happens when you mind your own business. That Farnsworth feller, I saw him victimize at least 2 other people before he pulled that on me. And I'd been told about at least 3 others. He does that a lot. For me, not minding my business, well, it's in my area. It's happening around me. And that predator very well could come and victimize myself or one of my loved ones. Looking the other way doesn't fucking work. It results in more victims. Ultimately, the outcome may be the same for some. I mean, ultimately, after assaulting me, Waylon Lolatai went and assaulted a lot more people he thought were homeless. And eventually, something was done about it, and he's no longer a police officer in Boulder. No, he gets to go be a police officer somewhere else now. It's horrible. You get to see how, if something had been done about Waylon Lolatai when I first told on him, he never would have had the chance to assault Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. He never would have had the chance to pull out a shotgun on Zayd Atkinson. He never would have had the chance to assault Michelle Rodriguez or Kelly Clark. He assaulted a lot of other people after me in Boulder County. And he wasn't the only officer in Boulder County who assaulted me. And there are witnesses to many of these assaults by law enforcement towards me. But who fucking cares, right? I'm just a hobo. You get to see how I'm treated by my quote-unquote friends and family when I go to them for help. That is not how you would treat your friends and family if they were being abused. What the fuck is wrong with you pretending to be my friend if you're going to treat me like that? If no matter what, you're going to make everything about you before I even get to open my mouth. Or you don't have the time to even find out what's going on for 6 years, and then you want to pretend all of a sudden that you care. No, the fuck you don't. See, that's where a lot of these people who want to try saying they'll do something after years and years and years of not doing anything, I let them know that I'm going to post it up publicly. That I'm going to do so either way, and whether or not they want to be my friend, you know, that's whether or not they want to do some friend shit. If they're not going to do that friend shit, they're not my friend. I'm going to show the truth either way. If you're my friend, you'll tell the truth. If not, I have to show it, which means a lot of work, which means having to spend resources I don't have, spending time that I don't have because, well, of course, the shortage of resources. I'm good to people everywhere I go. And when people are being victimized, I do offer to go in with them. Most of them say right off the bat they're not willing to try. Most of them are too afraid to do so. They say it won't do any good. Border police, they claim that they only have a physical altercation in 0.03% of their situations. That is not true. The number of times that I was assaulted by them over the situation with Natalie Bollinger is fucking phenomenal, because they kept on getting away with it. And even after they did it to others blatantly and openly, just like they had done with me, and people had gotten the body cameras and actually tried to help the other victims, myself included. Who is it to let Darren O'Connor know who all the other victims were? That's me. That was my fucking work. My work. That's what I fucking did, people. I protected all of you from the predators that you have given too much power to. Tommy Galley is dead. Stephen McMillion's dead. Janine Barrett's dead. Natalie Bollinger's dead. Brian Forrest is dead. Brianna Ingersoll is dead. Benjamin Harvey's dead. There's a lot of dead people. Rory Jepson's dead too. Janine Barrett, she died of a heart attack. Anna Hunka's also dead. There's a lot of dead people. A whole lot of dead people. Morgan Burns, he's a witness. He's dead too. Bonjour. What are you up to?
What these?
Cigarettes? Oh, hell yes. Thank you.
All right. Well,
Later. All right. Only kindness matters in the end. Only kindness matters. All right. Getting back to the situation at hand. It looks like whoever that lady was, she was going inside, so. Let's see how long I have until the dinner rush is over. 6:31, so that's another 29 minutes. Anna Hunka, she might have been beaten to death. She might have legit died of alcoholism and seizures. I tend to lean towards it needs to be checked out. The reason for that is because Anna Hunka had been abused by this man before. Long-term abuse does result in alcoholism, drug use, of all sorts of different sorts. Natalie Bollinger was abused by her family, and she couldn't even get her family to care. Who is it that cared about Natalie Bollinger? That'd be Sean Schwartz. Who is it that actually cared about Jamie Curtis and her son? That'd be Sean Schwartz. Who is it that actually cared about Jerry Sparks and her kids? That'd be Sean Schwartz. Who is it that actually cared about Laura and David Nelson and their son? That'd be Sean Schwartz. The simplest thing is the hardest part for all of them. They can spend hundreds of hours wasting our time. Our time. It's not just theirs. It's not their private information. It's eating up our time. It's you telling me about your personal life. The reasons that you can't. Your reasons for not being willing to help me have nothing to fucking do with me. But the cops got to sell their own narratives because you never came forward, never tried after the fact. And all of you that I went to for help before and after Natalie died, the easiest thing for you to do is admit that I went to you for help. That is the easiest fucking thing in the world. Did I go to you for help? Many of you, I asked you that same question for years, over and over again. Did I come to you for help? I also asked them to verify the things that they actually did. Because while the police were saying that I wasn't trying to get help, all the evidence shows contrary. I was trying to get help. And I was trying to go the legal route. I was the only one. The police didn't try going the legal route. The Bollingers didn't try going the legal route. They went the gaslighting route. They played on the fact that people hold bias against the broke and the homeless. They played on the fact that folk hold bias against males and against white people. Who's the white man who owned your grandpa? Go after him. Oh, he's been dead for over 100 years? Well, you can go find his grave, can't you? Don't take out on me what other people did. Do not take out on me the issues with your husband or with your boyfriend. Do not take it out on me when you don't get what you fucking want right when you want it. Katie Cahill could have gotten what she wanted, but she needed to keep her word first. Because she did not keep her word, she did not get what she wanted. I believe that that's fair. I wasted my time believing her empty promises, and more people ended up dead. and more people, and more people. I got blamed for things that she did. And I got accused of being her. That's like people saying, oh, well, Sean just made up the Joanna Taylor Smith profile after Natalie was killed. Like, shit, the conversations between Joanna Taylor Smith go back for fucking years and years. Me and Teresa Orrin have known each other since I was like, what, 4 years old? She was my babysitter. Her alcoholism got in the way. We don't talk now. When I was going through hell and being abused everywhere that I went, and they didn't find fucking Natalie's killer yet, it was nonstop abuse, and all Teresa would do is call me up when she was drunk to tell me about her dead fucking husband. Every time she called, that's all she talked about is her dead husband. I understand she's in pain, and she is hurting. It hurts to lose a loved one. But unlike Teresa Orrin, I didn't bury myself into a bottle of alcohol for years. I didn't neglect my kids because I didn't have any. I didn't have unprotected sex with a whole bunch of partners until I was, well, bound to have something become fertile. I had sex twice my whole life. Once with Brianna Hernandez Cordona when she was 19. And once with Rianne Ingersoll. I didn't want to have sex with either one of them. I had somebody say to me, Sean, do you want to have sex with her? I said, no. Well, why would you ask her out? Well, that's a good point. All I want's a friend. If I want some cuddles, I can get myself a St. Bernard. I just need to have a place to do it. That's why I need a real friend. I don't need a real friend to cuddle with. Most of my female friends I wouldn't ask to cuddle with me because they're in relationships. Most of my male friends I wouldn't ask to cuddle with me because they would take it wrong. But a dog, I can cuddle with a dog, and a dog isn't going to assume that I want to touch its naughties. A dog isn't going to treat me like I'm trying to turn it gay because I want a hug. I stick up for the rights of gay people, and that's unpopular. I get it, especially in places like Chapel, Nebraska, or places like Tillamook, Oregon. Places like Boulder, Colorado, though, it's supposedly liberal. Like you're allowed to be black in Boulder, and that is very true. You're just not allowed to look like you're homeless in Boulder. People don't want to see ugly. My car is ugly. All the stuff I got strapped down to it is ugly. And I'd have done something with it already if I'd have been able to pay my bills. But how am I supposed to pay my bills when I have to travel around from parking lot to parking lot to parking lot? And I got to travel to appointment after appointment after appointment to try to get an advocate, and none of them are advocacies. None of them actually do that. At least they say they don't. But then I've also seen some of these very same exact places in the ways that they say they can't help me. They help others. They have helped others in the exact way they say they can't. Exactly the way that they're supposed to by law. When I'm sent to an advocate, because I am disabled, when I'm sent to an advocate, they are supposed to help me with these things. Not push the housing and just push the housing and not try to find out what the situation with that is even. And even if I explain it to them, they want to ignore me as if I didn't say anything at all. See, that's why I record it. But you'll play victim if I record it, won't you? You pretend I did it as an insult. It's something against your honor. You're standing among men. Your public bias is showing again. Anyway, I don't feel comfortable being here now. And I already know that there's a lady at Starbucks that doesn't like me, that she's held that bias from day one. I know there's another lady at the Starbucks that she was the super nicest person in the world until I had her. She said she was into true crime. I said, well, look up Natalie Bollinger. Look up the name Natalie Bollinger. She said she would, and she has been different ever since. Hasn't said nothing. That's the thing about hearing that slander and not caring that the person that slanders against has not been allowed to defend themselves against that slander or show the evidence in court or to the media that it is slander. They've refused to look at everything I've sent them or outright claimed that they couldn't see it. But I checked. I checked with others. Hey, is this visible to you? Yeah, it's visible to me. Well, I don't understand why the cops can't see it. Anyway, I'm hoping there's no problems. I'm probably gonna check to see who the manager is at around 7. That way I got some time to wind down for as exhausting a day as it was. And it's not a exhausting day of doing nothing like some folks would like to insinuate. It's a long day of doing what I can with what limited resources I have, while trying to do something to maintain my sanity. A lot of people say get a hobby. I got lots of hobbies. And I'm pretty smart, so it's not just hobbies to me. Now here at the Denny's or whatever, this parking lot here, this isn't a place that I'm used to. Well, it's a good spot because I don't see a Farnsworth down here ever. I know that Molly is not allowed back in this area. So even though there's issues that began over at Fred Meyer's, all the people over at Fred Meyer's are understanding of the situation. Now the Scudder family and it's not like they're horrible people. They're not. They just didn't take it seriously with the turning end of the situation with Molly. None of them did. Now I saw Miss Scudder here, and so I waited until she was done to go into Denny's and have my dinner that night. I didn't mind. And then it was either the next night or the night after that. Scott Scudder was in here. That's her son. He was in with his girlfriend, but I was already in there when they came in, so I just minded my own business. They got puppies and kittens and stuff on the TV, though, and the TV is right above their table. There's another one next to one of the other tables, so it was pretty easy just to look at the other one. But, you know, it's puppies and kittens, so you're going to look up. But it wasn't too unpleasant of a situation because I just avoided the people that were the issue. Now I'm thankful for Miss Scudder when she did go in with me. The best that she understood anyway. Her ability to understand the situation was based on the amount of time that she had put into it. And of course, with the family that she has, I understand with like literally every male in her family is disabled. At least one of them has schizophrenia. That's a scary thing to deal with. I've been around a lot of people who are schizophrenic and a lot of people with drug-induced schizophrenia. That's one of the things with Natalie's friend, something Santoya, Sierra Santoya, I think. She had a drug-induced psychosis. And basically she was in an imaginary world of her own because she'd done so many drugs. And that's why she disappeared. There's a lot of people who have disappeared that didn't necessarily do the nicest things for me. And there are some of them that did nice things or intended on doing nice things, but just didn't follow through. I know that Casey Kirwan, when she disappeared, I did what I can. Well, she disappeared more than once, and I helped find her more than once. When Natalie Bollinger disappeared, I tried to help find her. When Alicia Bollinger disappeared not once, but 3 separate times since Natalie's death, I still helped to find her, try to get her safe. And it's not just the women. Just that those are the ones that we hear about, aren't they? The ones that are primarily pushed upon us. There's a lot of people I didn't find out they were dead until years later. Like Barry the harmonica player. You know, I thought he was dead once before he actually died, though, too, because he disappeared for a few months. We figured he was either in jail or dead, one or the other. Anyway, Casey is someone I knew in real life. I'd met in real life. She was way tiny when I met her, though. And I only saw her a couple of times after that when me and Brandon went over to help her real dad a couple of times. A lot of people did messed up stuff because of assumptions that they had. And many of them, from their point of view, them having somebody in their life, they don't understand what it's like literally not having anyone. I mean, sure, there's lots of nice people in the world that'll do nice things. But good things, that's different. Good things aren't always nice. When that used car salesman is trying to tell you that there's only 23,000 miles on a car that's obviously been ridden hard, you know, just gotta move on. Now, when he has the local sheriff come over and say, all right, you can't leave the lot until you pick a car, well, now you have a major issue on your hands. And yeah, that's an analogy, but it's not far off from the situations that I've been in. If my predators don't get what they want, they whine to my other predators. With law enforcement doing what they've done to me, because of the death of Natalie Bollinger and because of the abuse by Waylon Lolatai, and Waylon getting to play victim, of course. Man, this will drive anybody to drinking. No overnight parking, but of course, had me a burger, letting it settle, trying to decide if I'm going to go into Denny's or not. That's based on whether or not that other manager lady is there. I don't want people being mean to me. The other folks there being nice to me, you know, I'm not gonna be a jerk to everybody. I probably will make a complaint to Denny's tonight. There's also a couple of the folks that work there that I gotta figure out how to do that with, that not for complaints, but to say how glad I am that they are who they are. They do provide excellent service, even though I'm not the richest customer in there. I don't go in and buy a hamburger every time. I don't go in and buy a $30 lasagna, you know? Anyway, good to be with you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind. Not even if they're homeless. Not even if they're a male. Not even if they're white. We're all people.